Hi, and welcome to a brand new Book Wizards book club. Today we're starting a new book. Yay! Our book for this month is something that looks at fairy tales just a little bit differently. They might not look exactly like the fairy tales that you're used to hearing. Our book this month is called The Big Bad Detective Agency. We've got our big bad wolf, we've got our little pig, and we're going to see what sort of adventures they get up to with their brand new detective agency. So let's get started. The Big Bad Detective Agency, Chapter 1, in which a wolf faces death by porridge. Once upon a time in Fairylandia, when magic was common and cheese was 2 shillings a pound, there lived a wolf named Wolfgang. Being a wolf, he was widely adored, called cute and cuddly, and invited to all the best parties. Not. What makes you think Fairylandia is so different from any place else? In truth, most of its citizens avoided him, feared him, and called him the Big Bad Wolf. This was hardly fair. Sure, he was large and scary looking, and yes, he'd stolen a few chickens. Okay, a lot of chickens, here and there. But Wolfgang was really making an effort to reform himself and get his new gardening business off the ground. Did anyone care? They did not. So it comes as no surprise, then, that when someone trashed the 3 little pigs' houses, the prince's guards arrested Wolfgang. They dragged him from his simple home up to the grand throne room, with its marble floors, graceful arches, and vaulted ceiling. But the wolf had other things than architecture on his mind. "I'm innocent," were the first words from Wolfgang's mouth. "Innocent?" Prince Tyrone chuckled. "Impossible! You're a wolf!" Wolfgang growled, which really didn't help matters. "Let me rephrase that," he said. "I didn't do it." "Of course you did," said the handsome Prince Tyrone, smoothing his hair. "I'm certain you did it, therefore you did it." "I was home reading a gardening book last night," said Wolfgang. "Where's your proof?" "My guards found wolf prints on the path that runs by one of the pigs' houses," the prince said. "Maybe because that path also leads to my house," said Wolfgang. "Don't let him trick you, Highness," said Captain Creeplock, commander of the guards. "Wolves is mighty tricksy, they is." With an effort, Wolfgang controlled his temper. "Did you find any evidence inside the pigs' homes?" he asked. The prince looked at the captain. The captain looked at the wolf. "Well, no," said Captain Creeplock. "But that's 'cause you're so tricksy." Wolfgang rolled his eyes. "That's him, Your Excellency," a grunty voice declared. "He's the one." The wolf turned to see the 3 little pigs pushing aside the tapestries and emerging from a side room. Dieter, the biggest pig, was pointing directly at him. A word about the 3 little pigs. Full-grown, well-fed porkers, they were anything but little. Dieter, Martin, and Hans ran Porker Built, a successful construction company, which put enough food on the table to make them 3 ginormous pigs. But nicknames in Fairylandia, once given, tend to stick. "He wrecked our homes and stole our food," said Martin, the second biggest pig. Wolfgang snarled. Martin jumped back, bumping into Hans. "I didn't trash your silly houses," said the wolf. "In fact, I want nothing to do with you." "Except in the form of pork chops," thought Wolfgang. He'd been dragged away from breakfast after all, and his stomach was grumbling. Plus, these bothersome pigs were always accusing him of one thing or another, and he'd had just about enough of it. "Oh, yeah?" said Dieter, feeling brave with the guards in the room. "Yeah," the wolf growled. Dieter jumped back, bumping into Martin. All 3 pigs went down like chubby bowling pins. Hans spoke up from the floor. "If you want nothing to do with us, how come you're always pounding on our door at night?" "Because your music's so loud," said Wolfgang. "I can't stand that racket." Being a not too distant neighbor of Dieter's, the wolf often heard them playing oompa music. Or trying to, anyway. Wolfgang loved a good tune, but to be perfectly honest, their playing was more blah than pa. Martin stabbed a stubby hoof at Wolfgang. "See? That's why he did it! Music hater!" Dieter appeared to Prince Tyrone. "Please, sire, chop off his head. Have some witch turn him into a newt." The prince's eyes narrowed. "First, don't call me sire. Sire is for kings." Dieter frowned. "But it's the kingdom of Fairylandia." "Yes, I know," said Prince Tyrone through gritted teeth. But kingdoms are usually run by kings." "That's true." A tic had developed in the prince's right eyelid. "So," said the biggest pig, "why aren't you a king?" Princess Tyrone's face turned scarlet. His eyelid twitched so fiercely it looked like he was trying to wink in Morse code. "I don't know," he said, "and it drives me crazy!" He pounded his fists on the throne's arms. Princess Ingrid rushed up to her husband, took his hand, and helped him from the chair. Murmuring soft words, she led Prince Tyrone away. "But, Your Highness," squeaked Hans, "the wolf must be punished." "For the last time, I didn't do it," bellowed Wolfgang. The guards flinched. Princess Ingrid addressed Captain Creeplock. "The prince is unwell. Will you handle this, Captain?" The burly commander snapped to attention. "Count on me, Your Highness." With a frosty look, the princess led her grippling husband off to the chambers. Wolfgang didn't know whether her turning matters over to the captain was a good thing or a bad thing. He soon found out. "Right then," Captain Creeplock fixed a glare on the 3 pigs. "You," he snapped, "stop your whinin'. Nothin' I hates more than whinin', except maybe blubberin'." "Captain," the wolf began. "And you," the captain said. "What do I do with you?" Wolfgang smiled a toothy smile. Several guards gasped. "Let me go?" he said. Captain Creeplock gnawed on a piece of his massive mustache. "It's true we got no evidence." "But he's a wolf," whined Martin Pig. The captain held up a hand. "What did I just say about whinin'?" "You, hates it?" said Martin in a small voice. "Good boy." Captain Creeplock paced before the throne, musing. "We got no proof, but then again we got no suspects except for the big bad wolf." "I hate that name," Wolfgang rumbled. "Tough tootsies," said the captain. "Now, if you, Mr. Wolf," the wolf corrected, "were to catch the real culprit, I might just let you off the hook." Wolfgang gasped. "Me? Catch a culprit?" "Yes, of course. Who else?" The wolf looked from the soldiers back to the captain. "Well, you," he said. "You are the prince's guards, aren't you?" "Too right," Captain Creeplock gestured at his troops, "and we've got our hands full with guardin'. Nothing but guardin' day in, day out." His men nodded. "You tell 'em, Captain," said one. "So you see," said Captain Creeplock, "it's up to you, Wolf." Wolfgang scowled. "And if I refuse?" "Into the dungeon with you," said Captain Creeplock. "Just because I'm a wolf?" said Wolfgang, his voice dangerously quiet. Captain nodded. "Just because." "That's not fair!" A dry chuckle escaped the captain's lips. "Don't let the name Fairylandia fool you, mate. Life ain't fair, but seeing as how I'm a generous man, you've got till sundown to bring me the culprit. And if I fail," Captain Creeplock's smile was a fearsome thing, "you'll spend your life in a dungeon eating porridge." Wolfgang blanched. "No deer?" "No deer." "No rabbit?" "No rabbit." "Not even a mouse?" "Not even a cockroach." "Porridge," Wolfgang shuddered. "I hate porridge." "Then you best get crackin'," said Captain Creeplock. The wolf pushed aside his guards, nodded at the captain, and with one last scowl at the three little pigs, stalked from the throne room. One day to find the criminal or face death by porridge! Wolfgang shook his shaggy head grimly. He could almost feel the iron bars closing in around him. It was not a good feeling. So that is chapter 1 of The Big Bad Detective Agency. Our big bad wolf has been accused of a crime he says he didn't commit, so now he has to be a detective and find out who really did it. Now I have an activity for you. If you were the big bad wolf and the detective on this case, who would be your main suspects? What fairy tale characters do you know of that seem awfully suspicious? I want you to make me a list of 5 fairy tale characters that would be good suspects for the wolf to interrogate in his investigation. Until next week, bye-bye!